cut, it'll be 11, the last one I sent. We have that. Here is the Fox legal correspondent. This is the woman that Fox has been bringing on, who I think is pretty good. She says Trump ought to just admit to this, admit to the hush money, but say in clear terms what is true. All this is legal. Now, there could be some political downside. Here is the Fox legal correspondent saying what the Trump strategy legally should be.
Terry, I know you've been in there every day. Is there anything you would do differently if you were Donald Trump's attorneys?
So the one thing I'm a little bit surprised about is why not just own the fact that, yes, I paid this woman, this compensation for this NDA. It's not illegal. Yes, there were discussions about catch and kill schemes. Not illegal. Yes, I didn't want bad stories about myself, especially when it came to women. Not illegal. So why are we here? This is a court of law. There are crimes. Elements need to be proved. And one thing I've picked up on, I was thinking about yesterday, I was sitting with Lydia Hu, one of our Fox Business correspondents in the courtroom, and she does a great job. We were talking about this element of intent to defraud that comes with the falsifying business records charge. And we were talking to each other and saying, well, who is he intended to defraud? The American people? Because if that's the case, what about all the politicians that make promises that they never keep? We're going to lower taxes. We're going to close the partisan divide. We're going to solve the energy crisis. And if they don't execute those promises, were they defrauding people when they ran? And are there grounds if they were some kind of attached to a payment somewhere? It's quite something.
Now, I don't know.
I'm from New Orleans.
We'll ask the attorney that we really like, Jay Town, later in the show today. I don't know that would forestall some of the potential damage here. Now, this has been litigated before, but what I'm going to tell you, you need to hear, because you may not have been able to pay attention, is our job is to monitor this stuff. So as I said, Judge Marchand, there was a lot of back and forth today. We're not going to allow salacious details in. And the only line that I see that wasn't in here was about Trump's genitalia. But the rest of it, I don't know that you're going to impeach Stormy Daniels or that it's worth it too well in her recounting of this. Two major things, okay? One, what the defense will have to do is make it clear, Stormy Daniels, this underlines her testimony. Why is she here? She had no knowledge of the business infraction interaction going on. That's absolutely true. Two, I don't think Stormy Daniels, even in these days and times, is a sympathetic figure, an empathetic figure of any way, shape, or form. She admitted she has no shame. She'll do what she wants. I don't even see the feminists claiming her. But here are some of the things that I saw. And I saw a caller already who said, well, if what Stormy Daniels said about Trump in this is true, how could we still vote for him? And maybe you've never called before. You're going to see over the next 48 hours, thousands of pundits and all jumping up again. And who are they going to go after? Evangelicals. Here we're going to see it again. We're going to be told, you phonies, you hypocrites. Now, we've been through this. How many times have we been through this on the divorces, on the women, and everything else? And it's been litigated, and people have made their peace with it. But Stormy Daniels testified today that Trump first asked her about payments and testing. Just another, it gave me pause, just another reason. Look, the whole thing with men, sex, women like this, the whole thing over the year, we get that. But man, it should give you pause if you're asking about testing here, of a thought of what you're getting into. Okay. I gulp when I heard that statement. All right. Stormy Daniels says that Trump asked, they talked about Melania, and she told Trump someone should spank him with that magazine that was there that he was holding. Ooh. She claims that Trump said that Stormy Daniels reminded him of his daughter. Stormy Daniels, and this is where it gets to be incredible. When she came out of the bathroom, First, she told Trump she didn't like him in these silk pajamas. That's what it seemed to be. When she came out of the
Silk
bathroom,
pajamas for Trump?
yes, that Trump was on the bed with boxers and a T-shirt. And here's where any skilled, I'd love to see some of these Philadelphia defense attorneys I know, that Stormy Daniels paused and said, how did I misread this situation? What did I get into? She then talked about, with leading by the prosecutors, that she blacked out, but she wasn't drugged. She wanted everyone to know that. And then she started riffing with the prosecutor. I'm only getting summations. I don't have the transcript about this was an imbalance of power. Oh, my God. All right, so I turn it to you at 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. Have you made peace with this? Maybe you know people that don't. What they're trying to do here with this testimony is, again, go after Trump in a manner you wouldn't see with anyone else. It has nothing to do with the business part of this. She doesn't have any knowledge of said business. She has knowledge of the hush money, but of the manner and the transformation. Let me make one big point throughout. This does cut to, though, hearing this testimony today, the mindset of Trump. Would it not be, and you mean to say there was no back and forth on this, how difficult this would be with his family and publicly? All right. So does that not get into some of that? In other words, it's clear that Trump had mixed motives here. How do you sort out how big one was from the other? One, to make sure this never came to light. The family doesn't have to see it, Melania, the whole thing. And then two, they're going to argue the election. How will the public see this? Dan tells me she just said Trump introduced her to Big Ben Roethlisberger at the hotel bar the next day. Oh, my. Maybe Big Ben will be called. Oh, no, he wouldn't be called in given his trouble in Pittsburgh. But let me see if I can tighten this up there around this.
Speaking of tightening it up, the judge has asked prosecution multiple times now for Stormy to tighten up her answers and for fewer extraneous details.
Yeah. Well, that's Marshawn. Marshawn should not have allowed this. He should have stopped it at a certain point. I was following this pretty close. Now, we can't hear it. I'd love to see hear it. But clearly, to me, he should have stopped it and said, that's enough. That's going to the line. You're going over the line now here. The agreement was that we would not get into these details. She would establish that this happened. She gave the layout of the hotel room and the whole thing. I don't know if they're going to try to impeach her on this. Hard to know. Does that help or hurt? I think Trump wants to try to impeach her on this. He's still saying it didn't happen. I believe it happened. You believe it happened. We're not even going to question that. Does this, the payoff here is this testimony of Stormy Daniels today is not going to be about the business end of this. It really does not enhance. The only impact, the only significance of this whole thing today is the idea of how does this play out with the minds of people. That's what everything matters between now and Election Day. It's about winning. Have people settled in with this? Is there a detail here if they believe it? Now, we haven't seen the cross-examination yet. Are they really going to say, well, what did President Trump say about Melania? I got to say, she's transactional too. She's just transactional, in this case, a prostitute. Maybe another term you want to use. And as a result, she would remember details like this. All right, so you're against somebody who's going to be hard to shake on those. Is it worth it for her to make her go back through more details and add more to this, saying, yeah, you remind me of my daughter? God knows what was said in this. But we've litigated this. Why are we doing it again? Because they got nothing else. 855-839-1210, you get on board. So does this give anyone second thought? Maybe not you or people you know. How does this play out if it gets out there? This is the type of stuff that does. but she's inconsequential other than she's the reason we're here. Whatever happened here that was paid off, that's the reason we're here. And also this lawfare, persecution, get Trump. But legally, this does not get at that in any way that I can see. They ought to be talking to her, and I'm sure the defense will, about what did she know, how did she know, with her lawyer, Avenatti, or whoever else was doing this, and Michael Cohen. That's where you want to go. How does this serve a public interest? Oh, what's the matter, Dom? You want to cover this up? Well, yeah, not cover it up, but we're in a courtroom here. The court of public opinion, yeah, it is worrisome to a degree. People hear this, they might have second thoughts. I'm not sure. I can't fully guarantee it. I do believe we've litigated this. People knew this stuff about Trump. He survived that. He survived the Access Hollywood. He survived all this stuff. And why is that? Well, because people see we've been through this how many thousands of times as the one force that could galvanize and turn things around. The policies, the Supreme Court, everything else. And guess what? They see it even more now. I mentioned the gag order. I was going to lead with that today. That Trump being gagged and sent to jail would just have more people on his side. How is it, unless there's a direct threat against a juror or somebody like that, how is it that Trump is gagged and political goldmine is here and Stormy Daniels and Cohen are having a field day, even making money off it in the case of Cohen potentially? So 855-839-1210. I'll give you the side question too. This week, I forget, was it yesterday or today? It's the anniversary of the finale of Friends. So I was thinking, we haven't done finales in a while, but it wasn't fully. It came to me to ask an exit, which a finale is. You could still give me a finale. When a character exits a show, or if it's a real life figure, when they exit for some reason. What's the all-time exit? And I started to develop a list. Of course.
We do real people too?
Yeah, real people too.
Awesome.
Casablanca comes to mind. That is an all-time. Most people usually cite that. But I love Dead Poets Society. If you haven't seen it, Robin Williams, teacher, private school, has to leave. And what the kids do at the end of Dead Poets Society is amazing. But here's an example of a fictional character, Michael Scott. Now, Michael Scott's character did not leave when the show was over. I mean, he came back. He left, though, before the end of the show. And I just thought it was endearing. It was touching. The final scene with Pam, a couple of other things he did with Jim, was just beautifully done. That was a great character exit. Now, the show tanked after that because you brought in Will Ferrell, who I'm not a fan of. I mean, you talk about a guy just grabbing on the stuff. He sucked big time. I couldn't watch the show.
Come on, he's a great guy.
You got to get him out of there. My God. Ed Helms, you could tell, boy, this is dying.
Yeah.
It's not. So Michael Scott's exit was tremendous. All right, Dan, do you have one?
Yeah, I have a couple. So what we're looking for is kind of like, great, memorable exits, as in like retirements, show endings, deaths, in that sense.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you a real life one. How about Super Bowl 33? John Elway of the Denver Broncos.
Winning, right.
Wins the Super Bowl after an illustrious career and retires on the top. I don't think it gets much better than that, Dom.
Now, sports, you're going to see a lot of these exits, without a doubt.
And then behind us, you hear a great exit at the end of every episode of the Incredible Hulk series back in the 70s, with the Hulk walking alongside the road onto his next destination to this music.
All right, so it's 855-839-1210. That's at the end of your call. If you have a pulse, I want to hear from you on the Stormy Daniels testimony. Now, if you're one of those people, you just want to dismiss everything and say, well, Trump's going to win, people are not going to care about that. Remember, this is not even a game of yards and feet. This is a game of inches here as we inch along to the big event in November. That's what it's about. Boy, there's going to be a lot to talk about. Don't forget the Trump rally. Trump coming to Wildwood, and I know where I'll be for the prelim. Join me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood this Saturday, May 11, for a very special Trump rally get-together. Mulligan's will be our clubhouse all day as we celebrate the 45th president's return to Wildwood. I'll be on site at Mulligan's 3 to 5 p.m. Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood, Saturday, May 11th. All the details on Facebook at Mulligan Shore Bar. Johnny's gearing up for this. We know it's going to be great to get together, talk to a lot of people who are coming, and then the event himself. I even know that people are renting parking spaces in the places behind where the event is on the boardwalk. In other words, in advance. I haven't gotten the number. Somebody that will tell me, give you an idea, but I think it's fairly expensive to rent your parking spot in advance on a Saturday in May, not even Memorial Day. That's a big event in town. So at the end of your call, is Stormy Daniels litigated the minds of people? Remember, they might be in your, and if you are a self-described evangelical, here we go again. No other religion or lack of religion does the media care about. How could you vote for Joe Biden? Look at him. Not only that, have I mentioned for the first time today, and Biden's not a decent man either. Give me a break with this guy. We'll break down what he said about anti-Semitism, which is mainly attacking the Nazis. That's fine. What about current day? We'll give you that too. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on Talk Radio 1210.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Stormy Daniels testified today in former President Trump's hush money trial. Israeli forces have seized the Gaza side of the Rafah border crossing, and Penn's interim president is once again calling for the pro-Palestinian encampment on campus to end. The protesters are refusing to leave.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Right now might be the best time ever to upgrade your old, inefficient water heater to a state-of-the-art Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater. It's eco-friendly, Energy Star certified for high efficiency, and will help lower your energy bills. Rebates and tax credits are now available that could save you thousands of dollars. How you heat your water matters. So ask your plumbing professional about the Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater, or visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hey, Nick Cale here, and I recently had the pleasure of exploring the all-new Mercedes-Benz C300 Coupe at Mercedes-Benz of Westchester. Sleek and stylish on the outside and packed with advanced technology on the inside, Its touchscreen interface and AI voice recognition are sure to impress. The 2024 C300 features a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 255 horsepower. Available today at Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, or Atlantic City, or shop online at piazzapremiumautos.com and tell them Nick sent you.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia and the Barnes Foundation for a free virtual tour of an art exhibit on May 23rd. Sign up now at aarp.org/local.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is Dom time. Boy, today, too. We'll have to do it tomorrow. If I haven't figured out the side question on, you can help kind of manufacture the side question. Today is the day that Allen Iverson, post after the Sixers had lost that year, the practice. We're talking about practice. I think 13 times. It could have been 11. It's the anniversary. We got to do something with that. That isn't all. I got a couple of ideas. But today, it came to me, Friends finale, exits, great exits, either in real life or a fictional character. Of course, the Stormy Daniels testimony. God. Now she's saying Trump introduced her to Karen McDougal. You see where they're going with this. The other woman during a 2007 vodka launch party. Okay. Now, this Judge Merchan, and again, I think we've heard these details before. I mean, they've been out there enough, or you had enough to go by to say, look, you're an evangelical Christian. This guy's a sinner. Okay, how could you vote for him and all that? As if Biden is a decent man. My God, stop it already. So we already had that. Is this going to matter? So why did they do it? Well, they're taking a shot. They're taking any shot that they can. The judge said clearly that he was going to rein in any salacious details. This isn't even a fishing expedition. We are all over the place on things that don't have anything to do. All Stormy Daniels had to do was establish that she knew the details of this, and that's why she was paid off. But they did establish, and the defense is going to hit this a million times, what does this have to do with this whole business violation? It's only a misdemeanor, statute of limitations, the whole deal. And two, they're going to establish, well, listen to this woman. This is what we're dealing with. They're going to bring up the lawsuit that Trump won against her. My only thing in this is I don't live in the world of rose-colored glasses. It's about one thing, winning. Is this going to peel off some people hearing all this? They wanted to get in there. Oh, so he talked about Melania. Then she goes on to say, yeah, we don't sleep in the same bed. I mean, come on, this judge. Where's your gavel? Is that relevant to this? How in the world is testimony about he and Melania don't sleep in the same bed relevant to what the court is here for? And they got away with it. I saw this coming this morning. I know what he's going to do. No, we're not going to hear about Trump's genitalia. We're not going to allow that. But then every other embarrassing detail, whether true or not, and then the Trump people have to decide, are they going to duke it out on this? I would only duke it out if you really want to try to prove that Trump wasn't involved with her. I think Trump was. So trying to prove that he's not on this and break down her credibility on that, A, I don't think it's going to be relevant in the end legally. B, I think it could be damaging politically to continue to go through this. In other words, we've established, when you say to people, we've established in your mind, porn star, 3 marriages, we've already established that. You know that. Now you're going to let them pull that here for this decrepit fool that we have as president? Really? So I'm not sure what the strategy is. We'll know soon enough when they start cross-examining here. The line about you remind me of my daughter damaging in the minds of people. But hasn't all this already been established? So what did the Trump people do now coming back? Well, you make the broad case. I would make it again and again. This judge, and what's going on here, this is just maybe the most graphic example of it, is way beyond anything probative when it gets to the charge, even though we don't even know the charge yet. And this is salacious. This is just meant to embarrass. That's all that it is. And they will continue with it for as long, snicker and try to use it in every way. But boy, when it was Bill Clinton, it was outrageous to bring anything. The difference was that Bill Clinton's lying under oath was the issue, not some payoff, some business transaction. All right, let's go to Amelia in South Philly to start off here with Dom on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Amelia, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Dominic, this is madness. We had a functioning president who took full advantage of an innocent, impressionable girl and did a lot while his wife was one staircase away from him. And this is not our business with Donald Trump. It's private, just like you said. And Stormy Daniels is the most shameful, poor excuse of a woman. I'd like to know where the women are. They should be screaming about all of this. She was paid. She was a porn star. She was paid, and it's over. I'd like to know, and you could probably there's somebody at the base of this paying these people to put on these clown shows, because she's not coming there to testify just because she wasn't. This is worth her while. She's getting more money from somewhere.
Well, she's getting her name out there again. She still writes and directs porn films, et cetera. So she's getting her name out there. She's getting in a certain
She's a paranormal
senior
investigator,
role.
Dom. Come on.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, she's getting that play. So Amelia, I hear it's that's the case they have to make. This is salacious. This is way over the
horrible.
line.
I mean, this is it's filthy. It's filthy. They should be ashamed of themselves. I'm so. Guess what? I'm so sad for our country. It's vanishing. I don't know if we could ever resurrect this. It's just awful.
Well, I would argue though that just winning is going to do a whole lot. That's what the key thing is. This is about winning. All right, who's your exit, Amelia? Who's your exit?
Guess what I loved? When Johnny Carson left, I loved Johnny. He was an intelligent, sharp comic. You know, he was just so sharp.
And that exit, there are two things I remember. Bette Midler, "Wind Beneath My Wings."
Yep.
You know, on his desk. You don't
Yes.
get better than that. And the Ed Ames hatchet thing in the genitalia. Yes.
Yes, I just think he's true. No one took his place as far as these late night hosts.
No
in
one
my
ever
opinion.
will. No one ever will. No one's going to be good. He is the GOAT. There's no doubt that Johnny Carson had the timing, the chemistry. Yeah, that's a good one. But that exit.
I'm one of the lucky people in the world. I found something I always wanted to do, and I have enjoyed every single minute of it.
Yeah. The only reason I know about the Wind Beneath My Wings, I think it was in Seinfeld too. They cut to it, or I've seen it. That is a moving thing with Bette Midler. Very moving. All right. So 855-839-1210. Here we are again. How can you vote for Trump? You know that's what's coming out of this. And again, the stage was set this morning where there was a lot of back and forth. And it was about, once we knew Stormy Daniels would testify, suddenly again, what are the limits of this? And the prosecution had a woman doing, which was smart on their part, doing the testimony with Stormy Daniels as a witness for the prosecution. And it was about the idea of where is the line, and they underline. We will not talk about the former president's genitalia and all that stuff that Stormy Daniels has said. And that's all that Marshawn draws the line. Hey, no genitalia here. Do it, whatever else you want. This is all over the place. Going back, Ben Roethlisberger's of the hotel bar, a vodka party.
He likes
And-
Old Spice, Dom. He's a big fan of Old Spice, allegedly.
They worked McDougal into here, which is a nice, I'm not sure if she's going to testify or not. They don't have anything to do with the underlying crime here, alleged crime. Okay. Will the public see this as overkill? Or are they going to peel some people off who, with these details, if they believe Daniels, that he said these things, are, oh my God. Come on. You know what you were voting for in 2016 and 2020. You knew about this. It was hammered over and over and over again. Will it be effective this time around? All right, I'll give you some details on what Biden said today about anti-Semitism, but I got a great ad I'm going to play you coming up. The argument that the Democrat Party has become the party of women, Karen scolders, politically correct, and Republicans can break through with men and win with that. I don't fully endorse that, but I'll play you the ad they were playing in rural Georgia, the Trump people, mainly to hit African-American males. All right. I think it's a little bit of a clumsy ad, but I see where they're going with this stuff. I still think you got to bite the bullet. We got to do better in the collar counties here. We just can't say, yeah, lucky 7. We're going to win with African-American males and Latinos. We can't get killed here with these people in the South. As much as I resent them, I do. You ever have resentment to a strange group? A lot of these people in the suburbs, I resent. They think they're insulated from this stuff. I might vote for Biden. I don't care about inflation. I don't care about anything else. You know, I can't stand Trump. And after hearing this, they're going to grab onto some detail here. Can you imagine? I could see out there in the main line, Radner and all. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Jump in. Hey, don't miss out on this memorial sale at Rescue Natural Supplements going on now with prices rising across the country. Rescue is rolling back pricing to the year 2010. Plus, enjoy their fantastic buy 2 bottles, get 1 free, and buy 3 bottles, get 2 free memorial deals. Stock up on your favorites, save big with Rescue rollback pricing and generous free bottle offers. Whether you're in need of 1250 omega-3s, cholesterol supporters, probiotics, or natural pain relief, everything is on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss this opportunity for huge savings on over 50 Rescue products to tackle your health goals. Just remember this 2010 rollback prices and the memorial deals are going on now through May 30th. Go to shop at res-q.com, res-q.com. Do it now.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Hi, it's Rob with Keystone Window. You don't have to spend a fortune for replacement windows. We offer free estimates in 30 minutes, good for 30 days. And we're not staying for dinner. Those huge window companies with the free windows never leave until your flat broke. Call Keystone for great Energy Star windows backed by a lifetime warranty. A company you can trust. Keystone, 267-308-2500. Better windows and honest price.
Need new windows, pick up the phone. Keystone.
I have a challenge for you. I want you to write down everything that you worry about, from your kids to your bills, from the economy to the election. It would probably be a pretty long list. And when you get to a certain age, you can add retirement to that list. Did you save enough? What do you do about Social Security? Is your money in the right place? And is that 401k going to cause you a tax problem? We all worry about retirement. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, they're offering a complimentary retirement consultation. It's a free meeting to talk through all those concerns. So instead of worrying about retirement, let Spectrum Wealth show you ways to help retire your worries. Call 856-322-8686 or at spectrumwp.com. And tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. If you drive a car, you want it to last a long time and not cost you lots of money in the long run. You need to get your car serviced at United Tire and Service. I get my car serviced at one of their 10 locations throughout the Delaware Valley. You should too. Right now, get an oil change on any make or model, and they'll do a free summer trip check so you're ready to hit the road. 20-point safety check, brakes, belts, important fluid levels, lights, even the spare tire. To find the location nearest you, go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com. Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony, Retreat, Spa, and Salon.
Temperatures will remain well above average across the Delaware Valley for the next few days. Partly sunny today with a high up around 80 degrees. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy with a shower or storm possible overnight, low 64. And Wednesday, early morning shower, then partly sunny and hot, high 88.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon, the secret to spoiling the moms in your life this spring. Now with 3 locations, Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City at the Lowe's Hotel. Visit in person or online at josephanthony.com, where gift cards are available. That's josephanthony.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is Dom time. Let me make one more final shot at here at this alleged Judge Merchan. As I said, he's holding up essentially in his own mind, court of public opinion. Well, I didn't let Stormy Daniels talk about Trump's genitalia. So all these other things that are more damaging, I think, ultimately are in fair play. And I told you I was going to lead off today with the gag order and how valuable this is to Trump, how it's playing. Byron York, who writes at the Washington Examiner, you often see him on Fox, brilliant guy. He had a piece yesterday, and I thought he was going to testify today. I'm not sure how that order is going to be revived with Stormy Daniels tagging in, about the former head of the Federal Election Commission and how this guy had institutional knowledge that what Trump did on several standards would not qualify, in his opinion, as election interference. And Merchan, when this testimony happens, is going to rein him in that he cannot testify about those things in that manner. He can just talk about the history of how they established this and stuff like that. So how in the world does Stormy Daniels then get to go off into every nook and cranny here, including the Hugh Hefner pajamas? I just, I just, you know, and the line, I blacked out. I wasn't drugged. I just want you to know that. And all the other things that are coming into play here are amazing that this is being allowed. Does it not make the case in the end when you hear how embarrassing this is? Now, I don't know how Trump's attorneys can make this, because if they're going to deny Stormy Daniels' testimony, then I guess they can't make it. But I can make it because I think he did have sex with her and did, you know, the various things going on here in McDougal too. You make the case that even though you want to say Trump was just solely interested in the election, that he also, this is so embarrassing, that Trump was interested in protecting the doghouse with Melania, his family, public sentiment and all that. How's there an upside, you know, in any of this by the stuff that Stormy Daniels is saying? You know, it's not like you're going to get male prowess out of this with this woman or anything like, there's nothing. So he knows that. It was a protection against that. Yeah, it was related to the election. It's not illegal. All right, Dan, you have a great update from NBC. God only knows.
So one of the many sites I have up here with live updates is NBC, and they have their reporters that do like live, drops here. And Daniel Arkin writes, the members of the general public taking up 4 rows in the overflow room were buzzing with excitement before Stormy Daniels took the stand. They kept up the enthusiasm during the first couple hours of her testimony, occasionally laughing at some of her lighthearted comments or whispering about a particularly salacious detail from her story. But the interest seems to have waned over the last 30 minutes or so. At least 2 people now appear to be falling asleep.
Stormy Daniels' testimony. Her voice cracks on the stand. She recalls being scared of that man. She was aware of the Access Hollywood tape. Gina Rodriguez told her about it. Okay. So
I got a weird one here, Dom.
Yeah.
So back in 2011, Daniels testified that she was contacted by someone with In Touch magazine who said they were going to publish a story about her affair with Trump and offered her $15,000 to participate. She's being asked about it. Quote, I freaked out. I don't know who leaked it, she said. I said no at first, but then they said they were going to run it anyway. She said she decided to do the interview, quote, so I can control the narrative. A little detail about that, Dom, though. The magazine was then owned by American Media, Inc., the same parent company as the
Pecker.
National Enquirer, which was run by David Pecker, who testified earlier in the trial about buying and suppressing unflattering stories in order to protect Trump. Kind of goes counter to that detail.
All right. Wanted to play you one more thing before we take any other calls. Listen to this, accidental governor. But boy, she crawls. Another alleged Catholic, Governor Hochul of New York. First, you're going to hear her patting herself on the back about the fact that she is the first in the country, her state, with the super brain computer. Then you're going to hear her besmirch kids in the Bronx, kids of color of one sort or another, that they don't even know the word computer. You'd think one of her aides would tackle her at that point. It'd be less embarrassing and say, shut up. I listened to Governor Hochul tout New York because they got kids that don't even know what the word computer means all across the Bronx.
We will be the best. We will be the first. And I want others to follow, because right now we have, young Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world to open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
My God, perfect encapsulation of a nutbag, a racist, and an accidental governor. This is all about some big ENAC computer type of thing. And
how out of touch are you to think that they don't know what the word computer is?
Yeah, she wants New York to be number one. Then all these states will follow. That's how we roll here. She said something like that. New York's always number one. But we have this problem. These kids in the Bronx, they don't know anything about computer. You walk through the Bronx. This is Joe Biden talking about Indians owning 7-Elevens. This is what they do. This is what Democrats do. Just an outright. So she's tried to walk it back and say they don't understand the sophisticated part of it. No. You got it said in the middle of this. All right, 855-83. You got a line. A lot of talk today. Trump jail time with the gag order. Bit of an overstatement. Trump will win the election if he's put in jail. It's an overstatement. But yeah, but the here's a little bit more of Hochul. Yeah, let me finish with Hochul first.
State schools all have bought into this. So now what we have is the money to build a phenomenal supercomputer that is going to be accessible to researchers in New York, college students, will attract more federal grants. And this is how we lay down the mark. No state has done this. And in fact, I talked to a lot of other people, said, I wish my governor had thought of that first. I said, no, this is New York. We like to be first, with all due respect to people from other states. It's sort of.
Josh Shapiro know about this? Put her in a headlock. Josh, the kids in Philadelphia know the word computer. Get out there. You're being lazy here. This New York governor is beating you to the punch. She's patting herself on the back. She's the only one that had the brain big enough to think about this. And she's got a state where kids don't know the word computer. 855-839-1210. Great exit. Oh, I forgot this one. I should have taken it off. All right, Ray, who's your exit?
Well, the greatest speech of all was at home plate with Lou Gehrig. Terrific speech. It was the greatest day of his life.
Yeah,
That's
well,
my vote.
yeah,
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, I got you.
His last public appearance.
Yeah.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today?
Nobody greater, no more of a heroic figure. But, I just don't think that crowd there, did they know what he meant, that he was going to die? They applaud it. They applaud it a little bit more. But my God, the echo is what makes that speech, too, so memorable. We don't forget it because we hear it. Luckiest man. Amazing. That is a great exit. Good one. Forgot about that one. Sports exits, fictional characters exits. Doesn't matter. Get in with that. And love to know your thought of how this plays out now with Stormy Daniel. That's what we're waiting to see. Is it a big nothing that people go, yeah, been there, done that? Or does it sow more doubt in it? Can't tell what the strategy is going to be. I think that Trump wants them to attack her and say this never happened. Not a good strategy in my view. It did happen. And by all accounts, the logic is not there. Let's move on from this. All right. Go after her on some things and move on. That she has nothing to do with the case. Make your case you're being persecuted. This is another version of the gag order. This woman gets to spew all these things, and I can't say anything. And who is she? Just a porn star. What's Michael Cohen? Lower than a porn star. 855-839-1210. You get in. Captain Chucky's. They want you to make that call for a delectable dinner for mom. Mother's Day, May 12th. Order delicious seafood. Make your list and let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. This is a delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. This is the perfect time to check out, too, for Mom's Day or any day. All of Captain Chucky's offerings, delicious stuff, mushrooms, salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. They can help you plan everything. Captain Chucky's, too, several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Desserts, soup, sides, appetizers. They use only the highest quality ingredients. Ergolf shrimp is a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. And my favorite, those delicious Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. WeLoveCrabCakes.com, the one and only spot to go. WeLoveCrabCakes.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Sometimes they'll show me little things that just amuse me. Like apparently some people love to talk about the way I laugh.
I love your laugh, and I love that message.
I am nauseated by Drew Barrymore.
I can still picture her
Well,
in E.T. Ralph Macchio from The Karate Kid.
He still looks
like he's the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Kevin Arnold from The Wonder Years still looks like Fred Savage.
Yeah, he turned out to be a creep, didn't he?
Yeah.
I guess I have to say alleged creep. I don't know.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
You know, this is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain because the weather is breaking. Everybody's getting out today, whether it's golfing, going out, jogging, working out. And that joint pain is keeping you from doing everything you love to do. Am I right here? If you're tired of those achy joints, I want you to call my friends at QC Kinetics before you ever agree to things like surgery or steroids or medications. Patrick loves to golf like our own Nick Cale, although Patrick definitely wears his sunscreen. Patrick couldn't even walk because of horrible knee pain. But after his QC Kinetics regenerative treatments for his knees, Patrick is back and has the best handicap he's seen in 15 years. How does that sound? I'd love to be talking about your story next, where you were able to get lasting relief, no downtime. Don't wait to call QC Kinetics 215-999-3000. Get that free consultation, 215-999-3000. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is Dom time. Thank God the trial is on lunch break. We'll have more in the afternoon session. But boy, what a stunning day, dwarfing everything else that's out there. But at 1 o'clock, I do want to play for you this woman who was going for her second degree or something, trying to tell us, it's about 2 minutes. When you see this, it'll give you what the stakes of the election are like. People like this who claim they got all this student loan debt forgiven, and it shouldn't bother you because it's gone away now. She went to the Art Institute where Biden forgave $6.1 billion last week. Her claim is, well, once it goes away, why does that bother the taxpayer? All right, we'll get to that. Let me go to Gary waiting in Newtown. Hey, Gary, afternoon. Yo, Gary.
Thank you, Dom. Good afternoon to you and Dan.
Hi, good afternoon.
Did I hear correctly a couple of weeks ago? Dan admitted Dan loves porn. That's what he said, right? Dan loves porn.
Yeah.
No comment, Gary. No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
Plead the fifth.
All right. So back to Trump earlier. I forget the woman you had on at the beginning, but I think she makes a great point. And when you were describing the things that Trump said or what Stormy Daniels said about his daughter, my oldest child is a daughter. I just about puked in my mouth. So, and as an evangelical, I didn't vote for Trump the first time because I'm an evangelical. I really don't care what he has in his personal life. That's between him and his maker, whoever he thinks his maker is, because I know where I stand. All I care about is he's an elected official. He ran on a campaign, and those promises, he actually got most of them done, and that's what I'm voting for him for. And I'll vote for him if he's in prison, let alone if he goes to prison.
I got you. Yeah, I think that's the attitude of a lot of. We've already litigated this, Gary. Who's your exit?
All right, I'm picking on Dan because, Dom, you'll love this book. Dan, I think, will enjoy this book. And the book is the mysterious case of the disappearance of Rudolph Diesel. So most people in our audience, your audience here in Philadelphia, in the United States for that matter, drive a gasoline-powered vehicle, some with 2 feet, some with 1 foot. And Rudolph Diesel was born in the 1800s, and he was the inventor of the first diesel engine that ran on peanut oil, and he disappeared mysteriously on a boat crossing the English Channel going to England from France. And because it ran on peanut oil, they think that, well, they said the official report was that he committed suicide. And then they said, wait a second, who were the nefarious actors here? John Rockefeller had a vested interest in him disappearing because the diesel engine was 45% more efficient than gasoline. And then they had the Kaiser for Germany, who also wanted him dead because he was introducing diesel technology to England to run the English fleet. Sorry for the length of my call.
It's okay.
That's a
Thank
great
you.
answer.
Diesel's a very good one. That is a good got several good ones. So Friends finale, all-time exits, real or fictional characters. Love to get that in. We'll have more coming up. Don't forget Mulligan's 3 to 5 down there in Wildwood, the big Trump rally. Dan there, Roe there. I'll be there. A lot of listeners. It's our clubhouse for that day. For more details, go to Facebook, the Mulligan Shore Bar on Facebook. You'll get everything right there. Can hardly wait. All right, I'm going to play you this woman on the student loan debt coming up. And again, it's the attitude. You have to see the video's even more apparent. How it's just forgiven. Why do you care? I'm done with you. That's straight ahead. Talk Radio 1210.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for being part of the show every day, noon until 3, 855-839-1210. So a lot of details from Stormy Daniels. Still, even after lunch, the prosecution going down this path with little or no connection to the payment. She did mention that she was concerned because a payment was late. That's about it. This week, Judge Ito Marchand told the prosecutors to hurry along and spare the details on some of the, after he allowed everything imaginable to be out there other than Trump's genitalia. So, this will be played now quite a bit. Jimmy Kamal right now is saying, I'm taking off even more than I usually do. Howard Stern, can you imagine, is Howard Stern going to be critical of Robin? Imagine what this guy's doing. God, will it end here in this kangaroo court? And the point that I was going to make at the beginning of the show today, and I've tried to weave in and out what Trump said yesterday. Here's President Trump yesterday, cut 6, this will be, making comment about the gag order after the contempt ruling, and he's doing a good job of connecting the dots. How is it Stormy Daniels can spill her guts, so to speak, and yet Michael Cohen might even make money off it? I can't joust back. Now, Trump's got to be careful. What I would advise him to do, and I hope his attorneys are, look, you're winning on this gag order thing. Just don't mention the jurors here at all. He didn't make any kind of threat, true. But don't give them the ability to link it that you're going after the jurors. Let the jurors alone. Let all that stuff alone. Nobody's going to challenge. That's not going to work now. Go after Marchand. Go after his daughter. Go after Cohen, particularly. Go after Stormy Daniels. Any of those. Just don't say the word juror. That's all they're looking for, to try to gag you more and potentially put you in jail. Here's what Trump said about potentially going to jail.
I thought they were going to be finished today, and they want 2 to 3 more weeks. The judge asked them, and playing right into the judge's hands. The judge is so happy about 2 to 3 more weeks because they all want to keep me off the campaign trail. That's all this is about. This is about election interference. How do we stop it? And it's a disgrace. And then you have the other thing that maybe is even more disgraceful is the gag order, where I can't basically, I have to watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about it. Because this judge has given me a gag order and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day.
All right, so that is a strong angle of attack. Do not mention the jurors. Do not go after the jurors. If they gag you and all this other stuff, that makes your case even stronger. Is this judge prepared now to put Trump? I didn't think he was. He's boxed himself in. I think he is prepared to put him, if he sends him to Rikers Island, even that, as crazy as this is, that would be beyond nuts. There's going to be some other kind of minimum step around that. And if he does, well, then that's going to backfire big time. It's going to make Trump's case. But the Daniels testimony today, Marchand knew exactly what he was doing. And what he was doing is saying, I'm not letting the salacious details in there. And then he let any number of details in there that are extremely embarrassing, extremely difficult. 855-839-1210. You get in. Trump also should turn his attention to the attorney Matthew Colangelo. A Fox News digital review of Federal Election Commission records show that Colangelo, who was the third man in charge at the Justice Department and was tagged into the Bragg situation here to be the lead prosecutor, was paid $12,000 by the DNC on January 31, 2018. It was distributed in two $6,000 payments that day. The description of the payment of the attorney is labeled political consulting. So here you have a guy getting paid by the DNC as a political consultant who also ends up in the Justice Department and ends up in the lead role here in the Bragg case against President Trump. Just another thing that kind of solidifies how seamy this whole thing is. So on the gag order, I think that's high ground for Trump. If the judge put him in the core in the back room for an hour or so, it would help him make the case even more. The Stormy Daniels testimony today, the problem I see in the cross-examination, you're allowing this to be the story rather than this is about lawfare. This is about taking out a political opponent. Now, Joe Biden gave a particularly unmemorable speech today. Dan, do you see anybody pulling anything out of it? We were engaged with something else here, but we were watching the alleged
talking
highlights.
about the anti-Semitism on college campuses, calling it not a lawless country, civil society. You want that?
Yeah, let's hear this. If this is the summation of it, I mean, his voice and his manner was strong when he was talking about the
Want
Nazis.
that whenever you want, because it's boring as all.
Yeah. All right, let's hear this clip.
We have an obligation. We have an obligation to learn the lessons of history, so we don't surrender our future to the horrors of the past. We must give hate no safe harbor against anyone. Anyone. From the very founding, our very founding, Jewish Americans, who represent only about 2% of the U.S. population, have helped lead the cause of freedom for everyone in our nation.
All right, I get the point. I get the point. The same vagaries, the same not naming names, pushing back on this. Now, yesterday, these mobs, the pro-Palestinian protesters, I mean, this should not be allowed. I don't know what the laws are in Poland, I guess it was, but there's a limit to this. They were protesting, holding rallies on the Holocaust Remembrance Day at Auschwitz. I mean, does it get any lower than this? At Auschwitz, really? That's where you're going to do this stuff? That's where you're going to try to link the Israeli government to Auschwitz? That's where we're going to go? This is what they're up to. There are no boundaries. And yesterday, the mob trying to shut down the Met Gala with all these weirdos and weird alleged fashion. I don't think anybody in America was crying if the mob had broken through there, because these are the very people who condone this, come up with spins and excuses around this. Thousands of cops putting up roadblocks, though, to stop them. So what did they do? Their true nature. They desecrated the World War I memorial, and they burned American flags because they are anti-American. That's what it's about, more solely than just anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. And yet they're running roughshod. The Hamas thing was a ruse. They don't have any deal. There's no ceasefire. Israel is moving in on Rafah, and that's going to send this to a higher level. Macklemore, a white rapper, has a song out telling Joe Biden, "We won't vote for you." Well,
What?
Yeah. Now, some of the stuff, Luke used to listen to Macklemore back,
listen
you
to
know, an
Macklemore.
earlier iteration of it. And I didn't hear stuff that was that radical then, kind of like some of it. But now this new song is taking on Biden. We ain't voting for you. And it's around the Israeli thing. So
Macklemore, can we go thrift shopping?
Sorry, this is a very popular song that I just turned on here, but I'll try to find the Biden song.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a new song out calling out Biden. You know if it's clean or not?
I think it is. Yeah.
I'll
So
try to get that.
So the bottom line is that Biden's under a lot of pressure. He thinks he'll split the baby, go to the Holocaust Museum. Jewish elements will be pacified. Talk about the Nazis. Do not talk about, though, the seriousness of what's going on college campuses and how they ought to be put down. That's exactly what needs to be done. Okay. I want to play, and then we'll talk about it. Here is one of the more annoying figures that you'll see. Now, again, I realize that all student loan debt people that got out from under and all that stuff, they're not all the same here. But this is the attitude, okay? This is a woman on TikTok. It's about 2 minutes, minute 45, trying to argue. She's so happy, and you can't do anything about it now. She went to art school, but then she went for a second degree somehow or another. A lot of that happens. How it was forgiven. Why is the taxpayer concerned? It's just off the books. It goes away. She's not kidding. She actually believes that when that debt was, quote, taken off the books, that nobody had to pay for it to take it off the books. Biden was happy to announce it was going to cost over $6 billion. And all this loan debt forgiveness, that unfortunate term, the government offices say will cost upwards of $1 trillion ultimately in one way, shape, or form or more. $1 trillion. Well, that means it's written off the books. Nobody has to pay for it. Just write it off the books. All right, listen to this. And when you see the video, if you I needed a pep talk to get people to get out there and say how consequential this election is. This kind of stuff going on here with this kind of forgiveness that's ridiculous ought to be inspiration enough. Here's what she said.
I woke up yesterday to a text from my husband that was just a link to an article, he's out of town, saying that all Art Institute graduate loans are forgiven, canceled. Yeah, I graduated from there. Went there for 2 years to get a second degree. And I ended up taking out, I think it was $37,000. Either 34 or 37. I think it was 37. I graduated in 2006. I have been paying the loan back since 2006. I even put a giant lump sum down on it at least 10 years ago, $20,000 to be exact. I am still paying that loan, and I still owe roughly $11,000 on it. So far, I've paid roughly $60,000 for that $37,000 loan. Having that loan canceled means that it doesn't exist anymore. No one is paying it. No one has to pay anything else. Taxpayers are not involved. This is like a little box of things happening, and it's closed. So if you're a taxpayer and you're upset that some people are getting their loans forgiven, I don't understand it, because for me, like, I hope that things are easier for my kids. And for some reason, you guys think that they should be equally as hard, if not more. Why? It doesn't discount what you went through. That's a rant for another day, though, isn't it? I need to stay off next door. To anyone complaining about anyone's loans being forgiven, you have nothing to do with it. So why do you have an opinion on it? You are dead set in believing that your taxes are covering these loans. They're not. The loans just don't exist anymore. They're gone. Like, you're not paying for it.
All right. And when you watch her, the movements and her hair and whole, it is amazing. And I don't think she's not doing this just to say it. She believes this. It's off the books. Why are you people complaining? Why do we have to have it as hard as you? Because you were the dope that took out not one, but 2 degree programs, apparently, with this Art Institute for some way, shape, or form. And any number of these things being forgiven are master's degrees. They're not just undergrad. So people are making decisions.
You don't take
here.
any issue with the fact that she paid $60,000 off from this $31,000 loan, though.
Well, I don't know that she.
Because when I hear something like that, I get pissed off. I'm sorry.
Well,
like why are we continuing to pay? Like Maisie's, it's ridiculous.
Right.
She pays as much as she can, but a lot of it just goes straight to interest. It's not getting anywhere.
Well, but that's what the deal is. That's what the terms of the deal are when you get into it.
So we're going to allow kids to continue signing these predatory deals?
Well,
that's my entire point with these student loans. Like, we're taking this one person, let's turn her into the boogeyman.
Right.
This is most of these kids with student loans, conservatives. Let's hate these kids that want student loan forgiveness because Biden wants it. It's nuts. Let's embrace the topic. Let's embrace the issue and find, as conservatives moving forward, a way to embrace a young voter who is bogged down by these student loans.
Well, it's their own fault they're bogged down. I got to take on. No,
I'm not
a
lot of times it's their parents' fault, and they refuse to accept responsibility to help the younger generations.
Again, this isn't 20 or 30 years ago when people were suddenly hit upon by this. and it was a new thing. We've seen it constantly here. I have no sympathy for this woman. She signed up for
I have complete sympathy for her, but I refuse to accept what she's saying. She's a moron. Obviously, taxpayers would be paying
Why
for it.
did she set up
but
for a
let's
second
recognize that there is an issue here as conservatives and turn it into something good for conservatives, rather than
the thing to
trying to
turn it
vilify
into
people away from the party.
is to stop forgiving it. We don't do that for anything else in life. We don't forgive mortgages or anything else, and some people get into
But in the
bad
same
deals.
breath, yeah, let's condemn forgiveness, but say there needs to be something done here because it's out of control.
Well, yes, and that we know what the mechanism is, that college costs too much. We know all that, but I'm still not forgiving the loans.
But when
here.
you take this one person, turn it into a villain, and say this is all these people asking for student loan forgiveness, it says to people like Maisie, hey, we don't want you in the party.
Well, you're the one saying that. I just said this is not all people involved with student loans, of course, but this is the attitude of some, and the attitude of people is that she addresses there that I liked. Why would you complain about how hard it was for you? Why are you mad that I'm getting forgiven? I know why people are. We don't forgive anything else, nor should we. Why this one area? That's the thing that I think it comes back to all the time. Now, if these are predatory and people want to make an argument of that sort on either side, how did we, the government, aid and abet stuff that seems to be never ending? Okay, that's a good thing to have of how to intervene on that. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210. We'll get your calls coming up here on this. And don't forget the side question. I'm loving some of the answers we've gotten so far, which is an exit. This being, I think it was yesterday, really, the last finale of Friends. I think I've seen 30 seconds of it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing disparaging it. It's just not my, I don't like several of the, I don't like any of the male characters.
You don't like the Rachel and Ross, romance?
No, it's not believable.
No.
And I don't see that. The male characters are just unappealing. They're not bad. It's just really unappealing.
Joey's okay. No, he's not.
The female characters are much more interesting. All of them, really.
They are.
Yeah. So 855-839. And by the way, Seinfeld says they stole from him in this new film out, Frosted. So don't know if it's a joke or not. All right, your calls, though. Give us your reaction to this. And if there's anything more I missed in Biden's anti-Semitism thing, I'll let you know. It was the usual, go to the Holocaust Museum, say I'm on the side of that, and then not specify what's going on college campuses. And again, the bottom line is he should say, I'm calling upon Merrick Garland or the head of the education department to do the following. By the way, at 1:30, we have a guest talking about anti-Semitism at Central Bucks West. And of course, the school board there says, no, it's not. I think it is. And we'll tell you all that with a special guest that leads a parents group going after them here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, how much I love my new patio doors. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I'd only trust the Chapman team. If you're thinking of updating your current siding or removing your current stucco and replacing it with siding, think Chapman. With the new updated siding choices available, the curb appeal of your home will pop. If you currently have stucco, updating it with James Hardy plank or vinyl siding will truly add value to your home. If you're looking to sell, you can bet buyers will value updated new siding. And right now would be a good time to get ahead of the ball and plan your siding project for 2024. The certified Chapman installers are the folks you want on the job. If you or someone you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, shutters, or hardware, give them a call or text them 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Stormy Daniels testified today in former President Trump's hush money trial. Israeli forces have seized the Gaza side of the Rafah border crossing, and Penn's interim president is once again calling for the pro-Palestinian encampment on campus to end. The protesters are refusing to leave.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Runner's knee, golfer's back, hiker's hip.
Any of these feel familiar? At Virtua Orthopedics and Spine, we've got a doc for that.
Baker's wrist, laptop neck, shopper's shoulder.
Yep, we've got a doc for those too. Virtua Orthopedics and Spine has over 60 specialists, 20 PT rehab facilities, and 26 surgical sites all across South Jersey. Find the right specialist for you at virtua.org/ortho.
Exelixis Inc. seeks senior manager statistical and clinical programming in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania to set goals and standards, identify and implement improvements, and resolve issues related to clinical trials data analysis. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 11951. Again, Exelixis Inc. seeks senior manager statistical and clinical programming in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania to set goals and standards, identify and implement improvements, and resolve issues related to clinical trials data analysis. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 11951.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
This is a mean old world, baby, to live in.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Welcome in. Apparently, see, we can't see it, but people reporting it, that Stormy Daniels making a lot of jokes. A lot of these things appear to be scripted in court. And even some of the lawyers on CNN saying that's probably not the way to go with this as far as what the outcome is. There are two big things. The defense is going to easily show Stormy Daniels has nothing to do, really, ultimately, with getting the money, the hush money, how it's dispersed, etc. The other thing is she is tearing away any shred of sympathy in this. Yeah, here is, thanks, Dan, CNN's Elie Hanong, who is their chief legal guy, and I more often than not don't agree with him, but it's a close call. He's not bad. Talking about Daniels and humor that appears to be scripted.
Jurors, Casey?
Just one thing that I've been sort of noticing as this has gone on is that there have been a couple times where she seems to be cracking a joke, trying to get a reaction from the jury. And our reporters in the room have noted that the jury hasn't seemed to respond
No, they're
to
taking
that.
their job seriously.
I mean, what do you make of that?
Humor is risky in the courtroom, especially if you go in with lines. Like it looks like Stormy, if something happens spontaneously, if an easel falls over, people will laugh. They're human. But it's never going to work if you go in there like, I'm going to amuse the jury. I'm going to sort of say this clever thing. All
right, there you go. And it appears to be scripted. So it's going to be very interesting, the cross-examination of Stormy Daniels in this. But she's not the problem. It's the judge trying to pretend he's not allowing in a lot of things that are both extraneous and very damaging to Trump. In the end, that's what this is coming down to. You know, not the mockery of his genitalia. You know, people might, on the Trump side, be defensive, say, how dare you? It's the other stuff with Melania and all that, and this woman that is damaging, potentially. All right, let's go to Mark and Conshohocken on this student loan debt woman that we played you. Mark, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good, Mark.
Hey, Dan. Maisie will appreciate this as an accountant. If people want their student loans forgiven, make them pay taxes on it.
Okay.
You know why? Because it's cancellation of debt. And it's considered income.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, that's, well, I don't know. When Biden forgives it, you sound like you're in the business, Mark. You saying it's income and has to pay tax on it.
Yes, it's like if you default on your mortgage and your mortgage gets canceled,
Right.
it's still income because you don't have to pay it anymore.
I mean, we're talking then charging what, a percentage of what's owed then? I mean,
No.
because you're still going to owe money. It's
No.
just less money
No,
now.
it's added into your income. It's cancellation of debt.
Yeah, but I understand. But if you're just talking about from an accounting perspective, you're talking, one side of the aisle, you're forgiving the loan of what, paying $20,000 that year, and instead charging it as a percentage as income tax. It's still paying less, is it not?
Yes, it's income. If you, that's why you get a 1099-C form. That's for cancellation of debt.
All right.
Okay, got your point. Well, she's still getting away with murder, in my view. And again,
No, because when you get that tax bill, if you get that tax bill on $400,000, that's a hell of a lie.
well, right,
But it's not 400
No,
grand.
it's not 400,000 though, Mark. So I get what you're saying. It could be. It's like when Oprah gave everybody a car, and those people started complaining because it was a gift and it was taxable. And when you don't have any money taken out, any deductions on that, yeah, you can be hit with a big bill all of a sudden. No, but some of the resentment is this the second that she went to the same place for. And it's not just this art institute, which had difficulties. It's not the fraudulent, notice that the Bidens of the world, right? They go after certain colleges. They don't like these colleges that are outside the mainstream, and some of them are fraudulent. They think Harvard's fine, really, with what they're charging. They think Columbia's fine with what they're charging. They don't want to talk about big college and how big college is able to charge $93,000 to $100,000 a year in the case of Columbia. They go after some of these lower rung colleges, some of which I'd go after every single one of them, up and down the line. They're all in it together. And I've told you many times, I know something about it. There's a group that certifies how you get to be a college, and they keep it artificially low. They keep the market low here. And then you have all these inducements that some kids make about going to a particular school, but they like the campus or the team and campus and the weather and all that. Well, knock yourself out, but you're going to have to pay for it in the end. College should be much cheaper. That's the bottom line. There are artificial things here that are driving up this cost. Let's go to Joel in Northeast on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Joel.
Dom, how you doing?
Good.
I just want to start out by saying, I would almost agree with everything you say 99% of the times. And I'm pro-Trump, and I'm definitely 100% against this administration. But I do have a problem with the student loan issue. I just feel that, and I don't believe in forgiving it, but we are given billions and billions of dollars everywhere in this world. Why can't we help our own kids out? I'm not saying forgive everything, but on one hand, we're given billions for a war, but then we don't want to forgive student loan. Now, part of me being conservative, I don't think we should forgive it. But the other thing is, I think you said, we don't forgive mortgages, but we bailed out the banks and we bailed out the auto industry.
Well, let's start with the auto. I wouldn't have bailed them out with the banks. That's a difficult situation. I probably wouldn't have done that unless we did some other things with it. But we were at risk.
We did, though.
Yeah,
right?
we were in
we did bail them out?
Well, yes, and we were in a bad spot there as far as the economy and what was going to happen. And I have to think long and hard, Joel, to be fair with you, about whether we should have done that. With the auto industry, no. I wouldn't bail them out. I wouldn't have done that. And to your point
I
about
agree with you too.
what we're spending on foreign aid or slash in Ukraine, I'm against that too.
Yeah.
The point is this. We have homeless veterans. We have all kinds of needs that are the most basic and legitimate. I don't rank the student loan debt anywhere near the immediacy of doing something about, say, homeless veterans.
Okay. So again, I always agree with you. So I mean, you're enlightening me with that. If it came down to where we're going to spend money, spend money on the homeless vets and homeless people in general. So
thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you very much. So that's the point. We have all kinds of other needs. And every one of these, we always have a reason why we have to do it. I mean, look, I think you got to tread a little bit lightly about NATO. But Trump was right to drive a harder bargain and make the Germans have to pay more of their fair share. They're the ones that will be overrun in a heartbeat by Putin. Why should we pay more? So in every one of these, you have to be this is how it all adds up. This is one of the least worthy, though. There are other things a lot worse, even, of what we're spending money on. All these bailouts. 855-839-1210. You get public money I'm talking about. All right, we got a great guest coming up who, Monique Hofkin, read about her, saw her on Action News, representing some parents in Central Bucks, right out of today's headline, where it seems to be you have a problematic teacher and kiddos there that are anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Jewish, potentially. And the U.S. government is investigating Central Bucks. Yet the school board and others, as usual, the new school board is very defensive about this. She'll lay out what's been going on there and what needs to be done, at least what this group thinks. You get in at 855-839-1210. Hey, it's important to make sure our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did. You count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family, they're passionate about water. They put 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service and attention to detail, just fantastic. They come out to your home, test your water. They love recommending solutions and showing you how that'll help you. Just contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. Click on martinwater.com or easier, 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Tell them Dom G sent you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Temperatures will remain well above average across the Delaware Valley for the next few days. Partly sunny today with a high up around 80 degrees. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy with a shower or storm possible overnight, low 64. And Wednesday, early morning shower, then partly sunny and hot, high 88.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop. The threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're in pain. Admit it. But Topperson can change your life for the better. We help back, neck, and shoulder pain, arm or leg pain, arthritis, and just plain old wear and tear. If you or someone you love is suffering, try Topperson. Topperson Natural Pain Relief Cream is safe, moisturizing, and odor-free. Available at quality pharmacies and natural markets throughout Greater Philadelphia. And at Amazon, Walmart, and Topperson.com. End your suffering today. Topperson. Rub it in. Use only as directed.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey
All right, Tom Giordano show. Central Bucks. It's amazing, isn't it? One school district, even though it's affluent, educated, huge in Pennsylvania, it's gotten so much attention. But Central Bucks now under fire. We told you about this last week, and I noticed that people were very interested. This Spanish teacher who is Muslim, and some of these organizations, some of these webs school associated with, putting out all kinds of things that are really more than bothering, but maybe even threatening in the minds of a number of parents, kids there. Monique Hofkin, I saw her on 6ABC, joins us. She seems to be the voice articulating what's going on. And we know that the U.S. government, Department of Education, is investigating this outfit, the school district, around these anti-Semitic stuff. We just heard President Biden saying the end of all this type of stuff. Well, then why is it apparently still they're dancing around with this at Central Bucks? Let's go to Monique Hofkin here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Monique, thank you. Thanks for joining us. So give us.
Thanks for having me on.
Is the U.S. government investigation, is it limited to this one Spanish teacher that you talked about in 6ABC, or is it a broader thing?
It's broader. Most of the complaints center around the activity because this is the most obvious, in your face, recurring, egregious, threatening type of behavior. But this is a much broader complaint that also involves how the school board has not really responded appropriately, how the acting superintendent hasn't satisfied the parents' complaints. So this is not just a lone actor. This seems to be a systematic problem.
And what is it exactly that's being investigated or concerns the parents you're involved with?
So the parents that I'm involved with are so concerned and so afraid for themselves and for their children that they filed anonymously and asked me to facilitate a lot of what we're trying to get across, which is a message that Central Bucks really does not have their finger on the pulse with an issue regarding their Jewish students. This Spanish teacher is posting on his personal account things that are very, very scary and frightening. He went to a rally and posted it with his child on October 8th, where someone was screaming, "Kill another 1,200 Jews." He is also the advisor for the Muslim Student Association at Central Bucks West, where that association, which is directly underneath the school directive, has posted things like, "Allah give us strength and guidance to deal with these usurping Jews and these Zionists." The teacher has posted and got on his whiteboard in his classroom, there was a post of his personal Instagram account, and it is still up there, and it is still on the Muslim Student Association's post, and he was getting students to follow him, which is against school policy. He was engaging directly with students. He was posting students from the Muslim Student Association on his personal account, which happens to be selling keffiyehs and different headdresses and face coverings for this pro-Palestinian movement. So it's not really just a teacher who has an opinion that he's keeping to himself. He's really muddying the waters. And he's also posting things like the IDF, things that are not true, like the IDF has killed a certain amount of Christians in Gaza, which isn't true. Hamas did. And so it seems like to the parents that I'm trying to do justice by representing their interests, it seems that he's trying to also cause a divide with the Christian students and the Jewish students and further the divide between the Muslim students and the Jewish students.
Yeah, let me stop you there, Monique. That's a tactic. We talked about it when the Inquirer and others printed some of this stuff that's up. This far-fetched idea that we are going to unite, as you said, Muslim students and some Christian groups against the Jews. That's what this concoction appears to be. Right there, that is both delusional, disturbed, and everything else. And I hope you're probably not surprised. We're not, by the people that took over the school board. They're the type that go wild over the slightest infraction outside their ideology. But something like this, it takes a national investigation to even get a minimal response.
I'm glad you brought that up. In particular, I don't know if you're familiar with Policy 321 that was on the books and active, and it basically barred the teachers from posting in their classroom or displaying in their classroom anything that had to do with their political beliefs.
Right.
When the school board flipped in their very first meeting, they suspended Policy 321, and now it's been completely eliminated, which basically opens the floodgates for any teacher to post anything, in theory, anything. Now, if a teacher went in and started posting pro-KKK things, God forbid, I don't know how they would respond to that. But anything anti-Israel which really is anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. And so posting those kinds of things does further the divide. Who really misses out on this, who really gets the short end of the stick, are the students. Because this is a time when we really, as adults, as educators, as parents, as members of the community, we have an opportunity to have these kids try and come together on some level, playing music together, having a class together, playing sports together. And this just kind of detracts from any kind of good or any kind of unification that could possibly happen.
That is well put.
Next,
And Monique, you know,
right.
the school board might want to take a look at. They might be, incompetent, not just biased here, in that some of the things you and I agree on here. In other words, when you're singing "Free, Free Palestine" and "From the River to the Sea," where are the Jews going to go? What's the answer to that? They don't seem to get those songs are hateful and divisive, and the other things that you mentioned also are anti-Semitic. They want to tell us that they're saying, well, if you differ with Israel's policy, that doesn't make you an anti-Semite. From what I've read, this guy and these groups are going a lot more than just saying, I don't agree with Israel going into Gaza.
That's fair. It's fair to say I don't agree with Israel going into Gaza. I would even support a conversation, a polite, well-informed conversation of a difference of opinions, but that's not what's going on here.
Monique, what's your role, though? Did you just plop down as a communications person? You're excellent. It's like you came into our view here. Are you an attorney? Where did you come from?
Is your parent?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney. I am a person in the community. I'm a Jewish person. I'm the grandchild of 4 Holocaust survivors. This touches me to my core. And I hate to think that the next generation is being indoctrinated to hate and to hurt each other. That's not what this is about. And as an American, I'm actually afraid, because I was taught this is the land of opportunity. When my grandparents and my parents came to this country, they said, this is the greatest country. We're going to make a life for ourselves. And it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't, as a Jewish person, it doesn't feel safe anymore. And something needs to change.
I agree with you, Monique. I'll let you finish. When we put it into the context of Karen Smith and these other people on the school board, because we've been through this with the woman who was a former school board president, was a friend of the show. It's amazing how pouncing they are when there was anything on the other side. But again, this has gotten the attention, even in the Biden administration, of the U.S. Department of Education, indicative of a serious matter. But Monique, you had something else.
I just wanted to touch on what you said earlier about the school board. You said it was incompetent. Perhaps. I look at it a little bit differently. I look at it like, and I see in a lot of communities in my area, school board members, educators, they really do not understand even the beginnings of the complexities of the history of Israel and the entire region. Okay, so I understand that. If you didn't grow up learning it, or if it's not of particular interest, you didn't learn it. But now it's in your face. Now it's in your school district. Now it's in your neighborhood. Pick up a book, start reading articles, refresh your history, and don't just double down on the fact that you're ignorant. Because, it's like Ignorance I can forgive, but apathy I cannot.
Absolutely. And again, for a highfalutin school, allowing this to go on, Monique, is shocking. Well, we're very glad you're out there. Would you just keep Dan in your loop? Any developments of this as it continues, we want to talk with you on it. Thank you. And again, I really think they found the right person to communicate this.
Thank you so much for allowing me this platform to further awareness to what's going on. I appreciate it, and I hope for change soon.
Thank you, Monique. Again, Dan, I was kidding, but where did she come from? My God.
Right? Yeah.
That's like a professional spokesperson. All right, so 855-839-1210. Daniel's emphasizing, the feminist Dan, here it is. She had less power than Trump and met with him, hoping to advance her career.
Oh,
wait. What was her career? Wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute.
Is that credibility in that world when you are with Trump?
Yeah, that somehow or another she was going to advance him in the adult film world, or what was she going to advance? She was talking to him apparently to be on The Apprentice. Oh my God. Oh, I have to email Geraldo and see what he thinks that would be like on The Apprentice. Oh my God.
Can I give some background information about Stormy Daniels from Surreal Life after in Dan Time with Dom today?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I
All
love
right,
it.
we got that. All right, a lot of folks want to get in. I'm coming to you. Exits is what we're talking about on the side question. You heard this over at Central Bucks. Karen Smith, we'd give you a whole hour in studio. Put out a feast here, Dan. Karen's, what a great guest that would be. Just the arrogance is, Karen, you are world class when it comes to that. I've never seen such a local school board thing have international impact. The world covers them. It's amazing. Hey, the NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. New customers right now get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and a lot more, including one of the referees going to stop it with the Knicks. A call last night. It is mind-boggling what they're getting away with.
Is Brunson a superstar now?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And,
Did you expect that?
Yeah, tag me in. I can tell you why I'm too slow, not quick as I was, to play him, and that would put me right in what to do to play him. I have the secret. I was illustrating it to Luke at dinner.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were with his girlfriend and her parents and all. I don't know, maybe showing too
So you
much.
had an in-depth conversation about the Sixers at
No,
the dinner
I actually
table?
showed the pick.
the
I
Knicks?
actually showed the pick and roll of how to use your hands on it.
Wait, did you get up off the dinner
Yes,
table?
of
Oh,
course.
no.
Yes.
You and Luke reenacted it?
Well, Luke didn't want to do too much, but I.
Well, why was he sitting at a table like that? Come
It's
on.
a pick and roll. Come on. There's no better place to bet on all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, to get started. FanDuel Sportsbooks, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was that QC Kinetics treats pain associated with osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Oh, yeah. All you griddle gurus best get your game faces on, because it's gorilla season at Gerhardt's. And that means all systems go for great deals on the latest grills that'll sizzle your grizzle off. Whether you're a tong man or spatula lady, Gerhardt's Appliances has all the propane-powered patio powerhouses to turn that frozen filet mignon into a fire-grilled filet mignon.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia and the Barnes Foundation for a free virtual tour of an art exhibit on May 23rd. Sign up now at aarp.org/local.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, it's that time of the afternoon that producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan time with Dom. And Dom, finally, my reality show obsession has come to use today. Stormy Daniels, lunch recess, actually coming back here soon. But she appeared on a show, the reboot of Surreal Life, a VH1 early 2000s TV show that was rebooted a couple years back. And a lot was learned about Stormy Daniels, Dom. And I kind of want to just talk about something that we did learn during Surreal Life, which I suggest nobody go back and watch because it's a pretty bad show. But take a listen.
I'm from New Orleans.
Oh, cool.
You're from New Orleans.
Oh, so is August.
Yeah, I live in a haunted church in Central City.
So first off, she lives in a haunted church down in New Orleans.
Wow.
There are probably a lot more sides to me than people think. Everybody knows what they've seen on the news or in their favorite DVD. But, I'm also a mom, an equestrian.
She rides
an
horses.
Equestrian.
Yes.
All righty then.
She does like to ride horses, yes.
A paranormal investigator.
She chases a ghost, Dom, and that comes in use here because it turns out, listen to this.
I read oracle cards and love to ghost hunt. Stormy, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's the doll?
That's my haunted doll, Susan.
It's the
You what? Susan. She's haunted.
Is it?
The doll sitting on the couch staring in my face, and I'm staring back at the doll. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so throughout the entire series of this Real Life, we find out that she has a friend named Susan that she thinks is an entity living in a haunted doll, Dom. So, yeah, Stormy
Very
Daniels.
credible witness.
Very credible witness that we have on the stage today.
Let's see if Michael Cohen has anything that juicy.
And Dom, the Real Housewives of New Jersey returned this week with some shots fired, accusations of drug dealing. Did you watch, Dom?
Of course not.
Okay.
There is slur on it. The Italian-American society ought to be. Most times, 50% of them are Italian.
That's all I got for Dan time today, Dom.
All right. 855-839-1210. Now, coming up, Joe Biden is coming up after something very much associated with summertime. In addition to that, the Boy Scouts of America, I was just checking. When I first started here at Talk Radio 1210, it was the big talker. And periodically, you may remember if you were back in the day, the number of times we talked about the Boy Scouts of America. Guess what? They've gone from 5 million to about 176,000 or so, it seems. And they're changing their name again. I'll give you the new name and what it tells us about this group and how the left won this cultural war big time because of people who got into the Boy Scouts and just quit despite the support of people. Also, Stormy Daniels, as Dan says, back on the witness stand, will give you more details. The headline today is this Judge Marchand, even for what he had done before, he's arguing, well, I didn't let her talk about Trump's genitalia. Everything else is not salacious, hurtful, off the point, having nothing to do with anything political, all of that. That's what all this is about. 855-839-1210. Jump in right now.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Legacy Box is offering a 60% discount. Order yours today and take advantage of our best Mother's Day sale ever. Visit legacybox.com/value and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value for 60% off. legacybox.com/value.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Register for one of the Crash Proof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Venaria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Venaria is and has been my dentist also. And, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Venaria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Venaria's office does everything. Dr. Venaria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit venariadental.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, the Boy Scouts of America have proudly gone from the Boy Scouts of America to Scouting America. Inclusive. Scouting America here. Yes,
No,
yes.
it didn't.
Yes, that's the new name. And you can imagine these geniuses sitting around there. All right, we're going to be more inclusive. We already have the girls in. We have to be more gender fluid, Scouting America now. That sounds it. Well, why America, Boy Scouts? Why don't you take that out? Just say scouting. And if you don't like that, we'll just cut it down to scout or anything. Just tell us. Let us alone.
Are they teamed up with the Girl Scouts?
Oh, yeah. Well, girls are Boy Scouts now for
Wait.
some years. That goes back to, I think it's 2017.
So, like, are the Girl Scout cookie sellers actually Boy Scouts in disguise?
No, they're Girl Scouts.
But wait, hold on. So a girl can choose to be a Girl Scout or a Scout?
Yes. Or, 176,000 girls and young women since after a high point over the last decade of over 2 million members in 2018, the organization currently services just over 1 million youth, including more than 176,000 girls and young women. Now, think about this. They used to have, and when I started here, they probably had around that number in 2001, 5 million Boy Scouts, 5 million. They're now down to about 800,000, give or take, which I even question. Why is that? People said, I'm getting at this. All the blood and tears of thought. Remember the shows, if you listened to the station back then, there was a lot of this. There was a kid in Philadelphia. They wouldn't let, he marched. He came out as gay. They wouldn't let him do this, that, and the other. It went on for years. There were the Scoutmaster stuff with Boy Scouts. Then they admitted girls. Now they're changing the name from the Boy Scouts of America to Scouting America.
I do have the CEO of the Boy Scouts if you want to hear him.
The current CEO.
Yep.
Oh, let's hear this rocket scientist.
Sends this really strong message to everyone in America that they can come to this program, they can bring their authentic self, they can be who they are, right, and they will be welcomed here. The argument that I make with the people that say, well, I always like Boy Scouts of America or BSA, why do we have to change? Go, membership is at historic lows, right? Part of my job is to reduce all the barriers I possibly can for people to accept us as an organization and to join.
Guess what, buddy? They're never going to do that. That's the point. They beat you down to this. Just think of the blood, sweat, and tears that was fought back in the day over this. And as soon as he said, your authentic self, we knew where this was going. Your authentic self. That's what we want here. All right. Let's see how the Boy Scouts go now with this new name change. Let's see if that inspires people of days of yore to engage in this. We started to show, because we were right on the cusp of the Stormy Daniels and new people listening at different times, testimony. Two things still stand out. We're going to talk with the attorney we really like. I wish this guy were in the courtroom. If I were whispering to Trump, I wowould say, tag in J-Town. This guy is excellent. We've had him on a couple times. Brilliant insight with humor also. I'm going to ask him a lot about the gag order. He'll be here at 2:30, which was a shining Trump moment. But this Judge Marchand, and you could see it this morning. The bottom line is this. He was talking about in court and in public statements, I'm not going to allow all this salacious details of any of this stuff here. And all that meant from the prosecution, they agreed not to talk about Trump's genitalia. But they talked about Trump in his pajamas. They talked about Trump in his boxers after he changed out of his satin pajamas.
So it was like a jump scare.
Yeah. They talked about Stormy Daniels saying, yeah, you remind me of my daughter from Trump. They talked about Melania. They talked about not sharing the same bed with Melania. All this was relevant to what is a business transaction, a case here, misdemeanor at best, statute of limitations gone, etc. The Trump attorneys did object to this line of testimony. Andy McCarthy on Fox saying right now, descriptions of all kinds. And the judge thinks because he did not allow, God knows what they wanted her to say about the sexual part of it. All these other things, somehow or another, are relevant, need to be put in to prove what point it's political. As far as the gag order, the only advice to Trump would be, do not say the word jury, do not talk about the juror process. That's not going to get you anywhere anyhow. You want to push back on Cohen, Stormy Daniels' testimony, the judge's daughter, who is a captain in the Democrat Party, all fair game. The Coangelo, the attorney tagged in from the Justice Department. He was third in line there in the Justice Department to run this, who got $12,000 as a political consultant. We learned today from the DNC. All fair game. Just don't say the word jurors or jurors. Just stay away from that. Here's Trump yesterday, and I thought this was a great point politically, logically, about taking one for the team if it comes down to that on the gag order. Here's what he said.
I thought they were going to be finished today, and they want 2 to 3 more weeks. The judge asked him, and playing right into the judge's hands. The judge is so happy about 2 to 3 more weeks because they all want to keep me off the campaign trail. That's all this is about. This is about election interference. How do we stop it? And it's a disgrace. And then you have the other thing that maybe is even more disgraceful is the gag order, where I can't I have to watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about it. Because this judge is giving me a gag order and say you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day.
All right, boy, I got a sheet here filled up for J-Town. The Trump attorneys have just asked for a mistrial. The reason, the testimony of Stormy Daniels. And again, they're not going to get it here with this judge, but they're right to file this to go down this course of action. This is well over the line. The jury is going to expect now Trump to have to refute all these individual allegations about Stormy Daniels that have nothing to do with the business transaction part of this at all. They're all political. Trump's still maintaining, I believe, that none of this happened. So going down that path is just going to exacerbate all the details. Now, we've had no one call in yet, though, to say, yep, this time they got me. This is what this is about. We've litigated this before with evangelicals, religious people, the base of the party. How can you still vote for this guy? But it might reverberate with suburban women who say, see, I told you so. I can't vote for this. Imagine those conversations as this gets out there more widespread. But we can vote for Biden, not a decent man, no matter how many times he says he is. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Mistrial now this has been a huge day, and the net political issue here is still up in the air with Stormy Daniels and then the cross-examination. But moving the ball forward on anything that has to do with the main charge, whatever that is, there's no connection to it. Just absolutely not. I mentioned, and I didn't want to forget, what is Biden going after next? The Biden administration coming after your air conditioner. New regulations will drive up the cost of units and refrigerants. Here's the Wall Street Journal, if I could summarize it. That's interesting. In order to appease the climate people, the ingredients that will be needed for new efficiency for these air conditioners are apparently flammable, meaning that then you have to put in new devices to curtail. As soon as I hear, look, the added cost is one thing, right? But central air, something like that these might more easily catch on fire. That's the thing. Where America, you got to wake up here and say, do you want to live with that? Well, it's helping the environment. And you're going to see X number of homes caught on fire around this whole thing. Oh, well, the environment's better. So driving up the cost substantially, $1,500 now, according to one estimate. The Department of Energy bureaucrats say the regulation will deliver net benefits for homeowners. How many times are we told this will be good for you? Yeah, but I don't like these type of lights. It's going to be good for you. I want to flush my toilet. I want a shower. How many people want, I just told you with Martin Water, we just had it redone because of low shower volume. It wasn't due to Biden, it was due to Philadelphia. You live for a great shower. Nope, that's unhelping the environment. But your air conditioner too now. The equipment prices are only part of the picture. The switch to flammable systems will require additional technician training, extra installation steps that are likely to increase labor costs for installation and repairs. The sticker shock of a new system may induce many homeowners to maintain their old ones for longer. There's no escaping the growing web, though, of costly red tape. Even if you hold on to your older system, a refrigerant leak would require a recharge with replacement equipment made more expensive by federal limits on supplies. Such repairs could cost $400 to $5 more today than a few years ago. Now it's air conditioners. And again, it's one thing when they jack up the cost, and I'm sure a lot of listeners would agree with me. It's another, though, when they decrease the safety factor and or I like my dishes clean, that, or I like my shower, or I like the toilet to flush appropriately. These are all things when Trump gets out of the courtroom, all this type of stuff that are fodder. I don't know that he'll be talking about that. Oh, God, Dan, can you imagine Wildwood now? Oh, might need several stiff drinks. Dan and I just got our media credentials, sort of. Dan, are you going to be the one if they don't let us in? We have the credential, but, things happen and say, do you know who I am?
Yeah, I'll pull it.
There you go. All right.
Pull the Dom
Make
card.
sure there are no mics around. I'm never saying, do you know who I am? But
do you know who he is?
No, that's it. I'm not being part of that. It was embarrassing. I was doing something for the Phillies to grade the essays, and they had somebody in the lot. It's in the afternoon. They wouldn't let us in. And a woman who was being very nice that was also on the group said, do you know who you're stopping? Pointing to me, and she went through a whole thing. And I'm like, oh, no,
Yes.
no microphones. And the woman looked at her like, yeah, who's that? Don't do that. All right. So Trump will have, oh, my God. This rally, I think, will be the first big event, unless I'm wrong, on Saturday, because, Trump is only allowed out on Wednesday. So it could be the first big event where he can summarize and tell us about the Stormy Daniels testimony. Oh, my goodness. In Wildwood, of all places. Don't forget, Mulligan's, our clubhouse, and it will be that day on May 11th, Saturday. Mulligan's in Wildwood, the Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill. It will be our headquarters all day long, and I'll be there 3 until 5 with Dan and Ro. Hope you stop by on your way to the Trump event, or come back later to Mulligan's right there on Hildreth and Park Boulevard in the Wildwoods. And Johnny really all out for this. That's where you want to be. All right, right now, though, before we take any more calls, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Has all the money gone?
That's exactly right. What are we playing for? Here we go. Today we're playing for a pair of tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles Women's Football Festival, May 19th at Lincoln Financial Field. It's the ultimate Eagles event with a focus on women, football, and fun. This year's Women's Football Festival will kick off with a welcome address from Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. For more information, visit PhiladelphiaEagles.com/Women's Fest. Dan?
Yeah, Dom, today we're talking about great exits in films, TV shows, or in real life, and I take one from real life, Dom. This is a sad, sad story. Back in the early 2000s, this artist that I'm about to play was diagnosed with mesothelioma, and instead of taking medications to try to turn things around, he decided to continue on with his singing career, knowing that the medications would mess up his voice. And he put out one final album and sang this song, Dom, actually in his living room in front of his pregnant daughter looking on. And it's a very, very sad song, and the words are just beautiful. And I just want to pay tribute to this guy who had a beautiful exit, releasing one final album in 2003, Dom, featuring this song, which was sung in his living room on his deathbed to his daughter who was pregnant. Take a listen.
Hold me in your thoughts, take me to your dreams, touch me as I fall into view. When the winter comes, keep the fires lit, and I will be right next to you.
Wow. The guy was able to deliver that
Yeah.
in that condition. Wow. That's unbelievable stuff. All right. Jump in right now, 855-839-1210. Who is singing that song? That's what we'd like to know. I got an update, too, on the Trump trial, the new witness, a couple more things on that. But we'll get a winner here on Talk Radio 1210. I am thrilled always to tell you, homeowners, about Diane Giordano. There's a storm brewing in the real estate market. Are you prepared to navigate these turbulent waters? My great friend Diane Giordano invites you to an eye-opening event you don't want to miss. It will cut through the noise and clarify what's really happening. And I'll be joining Diane. We used to do these regularly. We're back now, live and on Zoom on May 14th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington at 6 p.m. to dive into the new NAR regulations, whether your home's value is at risk, whether the market will crash, how rising government spending and high interest rates will affect your assets, and discover Diane's latest techniques for pricing and staging your home to maximize profit. It's going to be a really informative evening, but also you can enjoy a glass of wine or two, some cheese and appetizers, and more importantly, gain valuable insights on the real estate market. Join Diane and me at the Hilton Garden Inn, right off 309 in Fort Washington, May 14th. Just RSVP at DianeGiordano.com or call 215-576-8666. 215-576-8666.
Something amazing is happening in animation. Studios are processing data faster. That's because CDW showed them new ways to maximize their infrastructure, then built a flexible Dell Technologies data solution. More automation led to reduced maintenance times and greater efficiency, so that creativity stays the star of the show. Dell Technologies and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Data Center.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland weekdays 10 till noon. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me.
All right. The judge has already denied the Trump motion for a mistrial.
That was quick.
This Judge Marsan, hey, get out of here. You're going to jail, buddy. So let's just get on with this. Get out of here with your mistrials.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
All right. I have a story from Wildwood Court to tell in a moment. But first, let's get an answer to our question. Here's the clue today.
If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while. When you get up in the morning and you see that crazy sun, keep me in your heart.
And Dom, what we're asking today is, this is the final song by this legendary musician, Dom, to his pregnant daughter. He was singing it in his living room where a makeshift studio was set up. And he was diagnosed with mesothelioma about a year earlier. And about 2 weeks later, the album was released. But he got to sing this song in front of his daughter. A great, amazing exit, referencing the side question of great all-time exits.
Wow. Let's go to Katie in Pipersville. Katie, who's singing that song?
Warren Zevon.
All right, very nicely played. Yeah, very moving, particularly the circumstance. Enjoy the Eagles, Katie. Good stuff. So the judge, apparently it's being reported, Dan, agreed some things would have been better left unsaid with Stormy Daniels in her testimony. Well, you're the judge. You're supposed to ratchet it up and say, you're out of order, you're over the line, okay, overruled, all those things, and bang the gavel. This judge reminds me, Dan, I witnessed this. We had a friend in Wildwood. This was in the court, was a magistrate's court, was over some big parking ticket, pretty big stakes, relatively. And the guy made a mistake of bringing a lawyer who was new. Good. I thought he was good. But he said, Your Honor, the Constitution says. It was actually a constitutional matter about some due process issue, Dan. It was legit. The magistrate looks at him, stops him in mid-sentence and goes, don't you ever bring up the Constitution in my court again. It's like, oh, my God, where are we? Now, thank God I didn't jump into the ring on this one as I did with the movie theater thing. Can you imagine? You're in contempt over a major traffic thing. Judge Marchand, yeah, well, you know what? No mistrial, he said. But he agrees that something. Okay, let's hear him.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
He doesn't say I'll take under advisement the mistrial. Once the testimony's done for today, I guess you could live with that. In no mistrial, some things would have been better left unsaid, as a direct quote from the Stormy Daniels testimony. Again, of course. Now, we're in a dilemma here because Trump, and I'm going to ask Jay Town, who we really have liked. He's a surrogate for the Trump campaign, handling media, big-time attorney. I really like to tag this guy into the ring. There might be trouble there, though, in this courtroom. Where this goes then. If Trump is telling his attorneys, I never had sex with that woman, I didn't do anything with Stormy Daniels, that's still the opinion, Dan. Then what does he say to go at? Does he continue with that rather than continue down this course, which is, this is ridiculous. Yeah, the money was paid and all that. It's all legal. It's embarrassing. But why was Stormy Daniels, why was the prosecution allowed to bring up all these details. You know, after she talked about the details of the hotel room and things of that nature to establish this happened, but none of it, not one iota, got anywhere toward the issue of what's underlying this. Is it illegal to do what was done with the hush money? Which it's not. So what are we doing here? But what we're doing here is adding another layer politically by Daniels testifying to all those things. I'm not going to say them again. It was brutal about the back and forth with Trump. Yeah, the pajamas thing might be just funny. Daniels, though, I thought he would advance my career. Oh, my God. A feminist, some goofball feminist to have an angle is out there right now. Stormy Daniels, a new kind of feminist. That's what we're going to be hearing.
Oh, you just wrote the headline for Salon.
Yeah, there you go. Salon, Vox. We're doing your show,
yeah,
too,
there you
guys.
go,
Think about
You're
it.
welcome.
Season that. That guy's right. Conservative nutbags even see it. Here's an ending, Dan.
Oh, it's going to be quoted now.
Yeah. Slim Pickens exiting the plane in Dr. Strangelove. Great film. He's the pilot who can't get the bomb is stuck, the nuclear bomb, which triggers bombs all over the world. So he rides it and cuts wires and all, then goes off on the bomb like a cowboy into the target in Russia. That is a pretty good exit. That's what we're looking for. Let me go, and then we'll have J-Town coming up here. Let me go to Robert. I left this one on the board. It's a great one. Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. If I could just take 20 seconds to touch on Hochul said, because it's offensive on so many levels.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. How long are we going to be? It's 2024. How long are you going to be saying poor black kid to get something? You know, they don't even bother saying African American anymore, Dom. I guess it's too many syllables for them or something. But it's just they're using this, and I'm thinking, your schools, you control the schools that are educating these kids, and you have the nerve to say that?
Well,
I mean, this is
to that
all on-
point, Robert, if I were there with a credential, I would ask, we're worried about this supercomputer. What about the appalling English and math scores that are inescapable, Governor, saying they can't say the word, they don't know what a computer is? Oh, my God.
Well, they're using something as an example of what's not right, and that something is something they've been controlling for the last 60 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like when that lady wine from the teachers union said black kids can't compete with white kids. Well, they're coming from the schools you're controlling, lady. So what are you saying? I mean, they're using their failures to ask for more money and power. That's incredible to me. But you know what? One more thing. Half them kids in the Bronx are more up on technology than you are, Hochul. These people are so elitist. It's disgusting to me, Dom. But I will get to my side answer, and it will be Colonel Blake from MASH. He wore the pinstripe suit, the nice shoes, planted a big kiss on Hot Lips, and then unfortunately died in a crash on the way home. But that was the one that stuck out for me.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys
And people actually wrote the show, and all they were in mourning. They thought that Henry Blake was dead. Yes.
You guys have a great day, man.
Thank you. Dan, you probably don't, you wouldn't remember that. J-Town might, though. J-Town, the great surrogate lawyer for the Trump people at our disposal. Next, what would he say if they declare a mistrial? Yeah, maybe some of the stuff with Stormy Daniels was a bit out of line, but what can I do? I'm only the judge. He's next here to break it down. Batteries plus bulbs, 2 big stores, Route 73 in Mount Laurel and Tilton Road in Northfield. Roy is the guy, he and his staff, great staff, to fix your tech, to figure out what's wrong, to not call you an idiot, to give great customer service and tell you, here's how we're going to help you with this. Not just phones, anything that involves technology. We had a husband pass away. Roy told me this story, and I tell you a lot recently. His wife wanted to get precious photos retrieved from the broken phone. Apple and others couldn't do it, but Roy's guy, Neftel, did it. Send an unbelievable letter of appreciation from his wife. That's what they do on a regular basis with anything involving technology. They have anything you want to. This is the original. He found it, the first batteries plus bulb store 18 years ago right here. You can get your watch and keep up lifetime batteries replacement program. Pay once. Any future replacements are free. Just mention my name when you stop into either of Roy's stores. Be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use at Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. No purchase necessary. Call him up now. Tell him what the problem is, whatever it is. 856-638-0778. 856-638-0778.
Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
Temperatures will remain well above average across the Delaware Valley for the next few days. Partly sunny today with a high up around 80 degrees. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy with a shower or storm possible overnight, low 64. And Wednesday, early morning shower, then partly sunny and hot, high 88.
Spring is here, and now is the time to budget. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no questions asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit NJDiet.com.
Are you tired of that dated old kitchen or bathroom? Ready for a refresh? Then you need to give Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing to custom cabinets, backsplash counters, yes, you can get the kitchen you want now, right now. They're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing, with 10% off your remodel. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today at kitchenmagic.com. That's kitchenmagic.com.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, thank God we have Jay Town in the on-deck circle after what I've been witnessing today, at least from afar. Dom Giordano show. Jay is one of the surrogate attorneys for Trump and has been with us several times. So no mistrial, and this just came down. The judge said he was surprised that the defense was not making any more objections to Daniel's testimony versus the level that he set. Let's see how this sits with Jay Town on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Jay, welcome back. Difficult day to be an armchair lawyer here. You are a real lawyer, but watching this, what are your thoughts on the mistrial and Marchand saying, well, the defense didn't object enough?
Well, so the to give you a good legal answer, because your audience deserves that, and then we can make fun of Marchand a bit. Rule 403 of the Rules of Evidence is a uniform rule of evidence that says that if the evidence that is solicited is so tawdry, so outrageous, so salacious that it outweighs the probative value, meaning the value of the evidence to prove an element of a crime, then that evidence is not admissible. Now, what Judge Marchand has just done, he rejected the defense's very appropriate request for a mistrial. They made plenty of objections, but tactically, whether you're a prosecutor or a defense lawyer, you don't want to just object 38 times during a witness because it makes it look like you're scared of the witness. They objected previous to the trial, to her testimony. And on the papers, they objected this morning before she even took the stand. All of their objections are preserved on the record. Mershon knows this. But since he's never stood before a jury in the well, he just sits there on his perch smirking. He's perhaps unaware that you don't want to annoy the jury and make them think that you are scared of this witness. And so, frankly, I was talking to some folks earlier before I came on, Dom, and my sort of opinion internally to these folks was I'm glad that mistrial because I think he's walking out of there at this point. Think about the testimony we heard today that Trump had a tryst with a woman in, what was it, 2007?
Yes.
Or 6.
I think it's 6.
Ago.
Yeah.
2006. And okay, we don't have to like that about Donald Trump. This is all stuff we've known about for years now, right? In the public. But we don't like that, and you shouldn't have done that. Shame on you, President Trump. That's if you believe it happened. President Trump is to this day denied that it ever happened. And by the way, what we're about to hear on the cross-examination is, so is Stormy Daniels, right? She's done it in writing. But what we also heard today on the prosecution's case, and, next time you have me on, I'm going to have a list of all the exculpable evidence, meaning all the evidence that the state has brought forward on their case in chief that actually acquits Donald Trump. Not as, not just it's kind of neutral or it's not great, but actually is probative against the elements that the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. But what we heard from Stormy today was, here's what's interesting. I didn't do it for the money. I just did it because I wanted my truth, my story to get out there about this man. Okay, well then why'd you take $130,000 and sign a non-disclosure agreement? Kind of works against both of those things. Kind of went the other direction on that, didn't you there, Stephanie? Right? And it's right. You got paid to shut up, even though you didn't want any money and you wanted to tell your story. It just sort of kind of collapses on the weight of its own illogic. And not to mention, she mentioned in her testimony that, out and there he was in his boxers and my arms and legs went numb and he didn't do anything wrong, but I just thought to myself, what have I gotten myself into? It's like, lady, you've been paid for decades to have sex with other men on film. And this tryst with the most famous person on the planet, that made your arms and legs go numb? Or did your arms and legs go numb because you thought, I'm going to shake this guy down. I'm going to shake this money tree until that money falls on me. And what has Stormy Daniels done since her little story has popped out here? An untrue story, I will say. But this story has allowed her to revive her career. She now has a podcast. She has an OnlyFans page generating. She wrote a book. She's got, she's doing appearances. She's making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars because of this story. The way she owes Trump $500,000 because she sued him for defamation for saying she was a liar. The case failed. It was tossed out because Trump wasn't lying when he said she was a liar. And guess what, Dom? That's 500,000 more reasons to lie today. Right?
Jay, let me ask you, does this cut to it? And if it does, how does that help Trump's case? Hope Hicks said it the other day beautifully, from what I can tell, that he was concerned about his family. He was concerned about this getting out publicly, his kids at that point, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe in addition, he has another motive, which is the election. How does that help Trump in this case?
Well, so the prosecution is trying to show a motive,
right,
for these payments, these business entries, and then these payments that they're intertwined and part of the campaign. There are problems with that, but that's really the why they're getting this evidence in front of the jury. The problem with that we heard yesterday is that the controller for the Trump organization directed Deb Tarasoff, who is the accounts payable clerk, to send these checks. The way they did it is they'd print checks, they'd send them off to the president, and he'd sign the checks. And McConney, who is the controller, he's the one that told Deb, hey, and put it under legal expenses. And we need $35,000 checks. Okay, done. Well, guess who never directed those payments? Guess who never directed those entries? Donald Trump. He didn't even know about them. He didn't go back and, well, how do we enter this into the ledger, right? He just signed the check. He was president of the United States. It was his first year in politics, much less being the leader of the free world. So every month he'd get similar to the one the month before for legal expenses for Michael Cohen. And he's a bit busy in 2017, as one might imagine. So this was not the most important thing that crossed his desk every month for 11 months in 2017. So, that's some more of that exculpable evidence that I was talking about. The state's case it's a great page 6 article maybe, but it's a terrible prosecution's case.
Jay, reports are, and again, we haven't seen them, that the jurors, they were not laughing at any of the scripted jokes from Stormy Daniels, and most people that have been in there think this jury is pretty earnest. If that's true, then I think Trump has a really good shot here.
Yeah, look, people don't like a man that cheats on his wife. Let's say they believe that he did that. Know who they hate just as much? The other woman, right? And she's the one that has so much to lie about, and she has lied. She wrote a letter in 2018 saying that I never had sex with Donald Trump, and he had nothing to do with the $130,000 hush money payment. She either lied then or she lied today under oath, right? But if she doesn't tell the story she tells under oath today, her business dries up. She's no longer an OnlyFans star. She's not making appearances. She's not famous the way she's wanted to be famous her whole life. And so, people are people. You don't have to be a juror in this case to think that I don't care what Stormy Daniels said. I don't trust her. I don't believe her. Anything she said, I'm just going to wipe clean from the evidentiary slate. In fact, the judge even absconded prosecution and instructed the jury, you're not to consider that several times during the course of her testimony because it was so salacious. Now, again, back to the 403 evidence, which should be inadmissible because it's so salacious and tawdry and outrageous. I encourage all your listeners, when they're watching the news tonight, turn on CNN or MSNBC. Their legal commentators are going to be using the words salacious, tawdry, outrageous, right? So that evidence never should have been admitted. It was, and one, it's a great appellate issue if there's even a conviction in this case. But two, the judge should have declared a mistrial. But I'm kind of glad he didn't, because right now I have no question in my mind that they've proven nothing beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, Jay, thank you so much. Yeah, get that list together. We'll be talking with you very shortly, Jay Town. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, just a great guest. Sometimes there's a silver lining to this stuff that we've happened upon with him around this. And he makes a fair point. If you object every time to this, the judge is the one that can overrule this or say it's gone past the rules that he set of what would be admissible or not here. If you do that every time, the jury's going to think, well, not letting Stormy Daniels talk for anything. 855-839-1210. Daniels says she ended up with about $96,000 after the payout and other fees here. And when Michael Cohen gets on there, it's going to be ferocious. All right, it is the final roundup. Hit us, lightning round, this all-time exit, because this, I think it was yesterday, really. Friends had their finale, so I thought something a little, not finales, but exits. Real or fictional character exiting something. Hit us with that at 855-839-1210. Hey, I've told you about my friend and dentist and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz. especially all the infrastructure he has. The one thing that he does, though, in addition to that, and great skills, is whether it's a routine visit, comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his staff sit down with you, create a clear plan, explaining it step by step. If you have questions, if you've been putting off a dental problem, this is the process to get them answered and to know exactly what you can do to resolve all this. And if you really have been trying for some time to get that smile that you've always wanted, now is the time also to call Dr. Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You will see the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. I've told you about even the most rudimentary things like the cleaning, how far it went with Marie. I'm still doing the tips that she gave me, all the way up to something that is very complicated. People go, other dentists send people to Dr. Bentz. You can go to thebentzdentalgroup.com or simply call them at 610-272-6949. 610-272-6949.
I'm heading for the last round up.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania.
Being with Crash Proof is like being in a big family. We know there's a lot of other people out there just like us, and everyone's very happy.
Yeah, they're not sad.
They're not sad. I mean, we come in and we know our money's safe and it's continuing to grow.
The crash proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And with the crash proof system, we made just under 7%. Even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life in retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Only crash-proof retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding recorded financial meeting. Register for our next event happening at the Washington Crossing Inn on May 15th. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
You know, this is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. The weather is breaking. Everybody's getting out today, whether it's golfing, going out, jogging, working out. And that joint pain is keeping you from doing everything you love to do. Am I right here? If you're tired of those achy joints, I want you to call my friends at QC Kinetics before you ever agree to things like surgery or steroids or medications. Patrick loves to golf like our own Nick Cale, although Patrick definitely wears his sunscreen. Patrick couldn't even walk because of that horrible knee pain. But after his QC Kinetics regenerative treatments for his knees, Patrick is back and has the best handicap he's seen in 15 years. How does that sound? I'd love to be talking about your story next, where you were able to get lasting relief, no downtime. Don't wait to call QC Kinetics 215-999-3000. Get that free consultation, 215-999-3000. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right. All right. Cheers finale was yesterday. Hit us with that all-time exit, though, real or fictional. Let's go to Joe in Exton. Hey, Joe, good afternoon. What do you have today?
Yes, hello, Dom, and good Tuesday afternoon to you. My example of an exit is, alas, a tragic one. Donald Trump's first wife, Ilana, while descending a spiral staircase, stumbled and fell to her death.
Yeah, that is a tragic ending, Joe. I thought when I saw the name up there, I was wondering why that fixated him. Yes. Don in Franconia, this is a good one because the guy he's going to mention is the all-time greatest hitter. There is no doubt. Anywhere, anytime, and nobody will ever surpass him.
Shohei Ohtani?
No, he's better than him by far. Don, who is yours?
Yes, I agree completely with what you just said about Ted Williams. I was fortunate enough to live in Massachusetts on September the 28th of 1960. It just so happens it was a cold and very bad day for that time of year. And I turned on the radio when I got home from work, and I heard the last at bat of Ted Williams. And what he did something he did 521 times in his career. On his last at bat, he hit the ball over the fence, and that's a hell of a way to go out. And one more thing, in 1938, going into the last day of the season that meant nothing to the team, his batting average going into the last day was 3.996 or 400 if he didn't play. He said, screw that. He went out and played a doubleheader, got about 6 hits, and ended up at 403. What a player.
Absolutely. Did that in Philadelphia. Wandering the streets of Philadelphia, Dan, probably looking for trouble. Ted Williams. Yeah, he played the doubleheader. He could have said meant nothing. 400 hitter. There's nothing like the guy. Now, he was a difficult person to put it mildly. That's a pretty good one, though. The Earl of Tacony. Earl, what's yours today?
Hey, Dom. Even if you never saw the movie, I'm pretty sure people are familiar with the scene. It's from the end of the movie, The Searchers. The theater is brightly lit because everyone is sitting outside in the desert sun, and the searchers go and arrive. They have the kidnapped daughter. They brought her back to her family. All of a sudden, the camera angle changes to inside the cabin. The whole theater goes black, and it's black on all sides of the screen except the sliver of light through the middle of the screen, which is the door. The family comes in, brings in their daughter. The whole family comes into the cabin. Her daughter's finally home. And you look through the doorway and you see the prairie extending out into the distance, the mountains all the way out. And there's John Wayne standing in the doorway. He rescued the girl, and he doesn't go and join the family for their celebration. He just turns around and walks away.
That is a pretty good exit with the, riding off into the sunset, the Old West. That's where it's best. Let's go to Chuck in Newtown Square. Chuck, I like this one too. What's yours?
Hey, great to be on with you. Arguably, and I think you'd agree with me, arguably maybe the best show ever to be on network, well, not on cable television, regular cable television, the exit of Gus. You don't know what's really going to happen. He goes into a room, and the brilliance of this thing where I think the character's name was Scaramanga, I can't remember for sure, blows himself up, and then you see Gus walk out, and you're like, crap, he lived. And you see his face and everything's fine, but then he turns and half the face is blown off and he falls down. And it's a dramatic portion of that show because it's either Gus or Walt who are going to live. They're both not going to keep going. I mean, that's a show you know Walt's going to make it.
And Gus straightens his tie, Dan, in that situation. All right, we had a lot of good contenders today. This worked. Yeah, give me some of yours.
I think there are two that stand out, Dom.
Yes.
First one being Lou Gehrig in The Luckiest Speech.
Yes.
I think that's probably the winner. The other one being Colonel Blake from MASH.
Tough. I would go with Lou Gehrig, too.
You want to go Lou Gehrig?
Yeah, luckiest man.
Little piece of trivia from Michael on Twitter on Henry Blake. He actually appeared on Sonny and Cher in a skit to show that he actually wasn't really dead. It was just a
Remember
character.
I say people were sending stuff to him. All right, Rich Cioli is next. And Stormy Daniels is just getting started, saying 2017 was her best year writing and directing and won awards. Oh, man. Ms. Daniels, show us those awards. All right, Rich is next for 4 big hours. Back tomorrow. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Are you concerned about your child struggling in school? Do they need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers